The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
Good morning, Mikey boy. How are you?
Let me check. Gee, you know something, Tom? I think I'm doing all right. I don't know.
Mikey, you guys got some snow up there, huh?
You know something? It's sticking to the trees. It's on the grass. The roads are bare. But it's so nice to see. I'd rather see that than nothing but brown. You know, you're looking, it's drab. This morning, there was beauty all around us. Chrissy and I were talking about it when we walked in this morning. And good morning, Chrissy.
Good morning.
And
Hi, Chrissy.
It really does make a difference when the ground is and the trees are laden with fresh snow.
Now, you have another one coming up
agree.
in a couple of days, right? A little bigger one.
Sometime Thursday. Well, you can only hope, Tom.
Let's not hope. I'm meant to be on an airplane on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Chrissy's
Everyone,
heading
fingers
out.
crossed that it's not that bad.
You know, there's no frost in the ground, so whatever's falling just melts. So, you know.
Hey, listen, a couple of programming notes. First of all, welcome to the Sicilian Corner, Tom Zappola. My big brother, I call him, who's getting a little puffy in the neck, by the way, Mike. Just
This
thought I'd
is a
mention that.
turtleneck.
Yeah.
So,
Mikey Lamazzo, we've got a great show today. Today, this show, for me personally, is a little special to me. And so I asked Rocky Morrison from the Clean River Project to come in and spend the hour with us. We got a lot to talk about regarding the Merrimack River, but a couple of programming notes that are very, very, very important. As many of you know, we are migrating the show 100% to YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't watch it on Facebook, but the only way you're going to be able to watch it is we can share it to your Facebook page if you're friends of ours, which we will. Or you can, if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you still have to share it from YouTube to your Facebook page. That's the only way you're going to be able to watch it. We are shutting down the Sicilian Corner Facebook page. Quite frankly, we've had too many problems with Facebook, with people hacking and all this other crap. So we feel that, and the wave of the future is the YouTube way to go. But again, you're going to be able to watch it on Facebook, not an issue. Programming note number 2. Next week and the week after, I know we pre-record the shows, but I want you to know that we have 2 shows that we pre-recorded earlier, maybe a month or so ago. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be broadcasting those over the next 2 weeks. One of them is with Tony Palmisano and Wayne Peters on the Feast of the Three Saints. That's going to be coming up. This is the 100th anniversary. And then the second one was kind of like a free-form Friday, if I recall. Mikey, you and I shooting the breeze, having some fun, a few laughs with Chrissy and David and whoever else.
That we do
Right?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. All right, so those are the programming notes. Did I miss anything, you guys?
I think you pretty well covered it all.
I think that's it.
But like I said, right now, YouTube seems to be the way for us to go, and also the future of broadcasting. And
Right.
we're just trying to stay ahead of the curve. And you know something, you're not losing anything. As a matter of fact, you'll be gaining quite a bit.
Well, no, I mean, it's. Let me tell you the other thing that we like about YouTube, and this is really important. Mike, I don't even know if you know this. I think you do. Before we pre-recorded the show, when we were live, Mike and I would be able to communicate watching the show with everyone.
Right.
Well, because of Facebook's new programming, we can't do that anymore. However, on YouTube, you can.
Yep.
So last week, I had some great conversations and dialogue with someone from Sicily, actually. So when the show is on Fridays, Mike or myself or both of us will be there, and we can communicate with you guys. I think that's key because I missed that.
I did too. You know something, I really did.
I miss Roger bitching at us. That's what I hate.
Roger,
Trudell was always bitching at us.
you know something, the guy he's in a lot of pain right now.
What happened?
He's having knee surgery, and you know what that's like.
I do.
He needs to have complete knee surgery, having it done next Monday. And Roger, we wish you nothing but the best.
Now, Rocky Morrison, you live next door to Roger, right?
Yes, I do.
So how many tomatoes does he frickin' bring you a year?
Oh, I don't want to tell you because you guys would be jealous.
That's true. That's true.
All right, listen, let's get into the nitty gritty about this. Rocky is very important to the Sicilian Corner. The Clean River Project is something that's near and dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, Rocky, just give us a little background without getting into real specific about what the Clean River Project is, and then we'll get into some of the specifics.
Okay, basically, I started this 23 years ago, believe it or not, and it was a backyard neighborhood group, and the river was so polluted. Every 15 feet, you would see a kid's tire, or a tire, kids' toys, furniture, a wash machine. It was just polluted all the way down the river, and it was getting bad. There was nobody cleaning it up. And of course, we're on a sandbar, hanging out, partying, as young guys. And basically, to the point where it gets navigation. You guys know about boats, navigating stuff, and you have to go around all this trash and stuff. So basically, I got a group together to do a scavenger hunt, and that's how it started. We started.
Really? That was 23 years ago?
23 years ago.
Wow.
Roger. I'm sorry, Rocky.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is I live right on the river. I have a dock, and it's amazing some of the tree stumps that got stuck under my dock, and I can't imagine. And my wife and I have talked about this. Sometimes I'll have a 20-foot tree stuck under my dock, and then at high tide I can get it out and push it under, and it goes down river. But question being, man, I can't even imagine how many of those things are coming down river for boats to have to try to maneuver.
The trees are floatable trash. You can pull them out. It's a myth that you can't pull that stuff out, but it's just financial. No one wants to pick up that burden of cost. But if you got a tree stuck underneath your dock, you can pull it out and cut it up and give it away.
But you know what the problem is, and you're 100% right. I've done that with smaller trees. Some of these things are so goddamn big that it's impossible to get them.
One person
to get them onto my little beach area. And then, it's really, really difficult. But I can, anytime there's a little small log with a small circumference or something like that, we always bring it in. But that's just one example of some of the stuff that we.
Rocky, you grew up on the river as a child. You grew up in Methuen?
Methuen, yes.
So your love for the river goes way back, right?
Oh, yeah. When I was a little boy, I was fishing on the stairs that we had in the backyard, and that's how, I just fell in love with the river.
That was your playground?
That was my playground, backyard.
Yeah. I grew up in South Lawrence, and we had the Shawsheen River, and I learned how to swim there. I learned how to ice skate there. I learned how to get in trouble there. Tommy, we had a bad hurricane that came through. I'm just going to deviate for a second. 1955, we had a really bad hurricane, and we had a raft that we used to use in the Shawsheen. But the river had swollen so much, it was unbelievable. So we took the raft out, just screwing around with the high water, but we got in the main current of the Shawsheen, and it swept us all the way down through North Andover, underneath the Merrimack Street, and it dumped us into the Merrimack River. So we're 3 kids, we're 10 years old. They called the fire department, police department. They had to send the boat out first. My father almost killed me. Tommy, that was really scary, let me tell you. I don't get scared very often, but boy, that bothered me.
So, Rocky, let's go back to when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Now, I was a kid. I grew up in Lawrence, and it was pretty bad. Everybody was just dumping chemicals, everything was dumped into the Merrimack. I'm going back 40, 50 years ago.
And also, Tommy, you got to mention the Spigot and the Shawsheen River. My father was a foreman up at Tire Rubber, which became Converse after. We'd go for a swim. We'd come out of the water. Our hair would be 3 different colors. Now it's the trend, right, Chrissy? It's the trend.
Hey, mine's one
color.
Back
Back then, it wasn't. And anything you could throw out would go out.
Right.
That was it.
So my question, Roger, is
Roger.
I'm going to keep calling him Roger because it's his next door neighbor. Rocky, I'm sorry. My question is, since that time, you have I mean, you've made a tremendous impact on cleaning the river up. Is the river cleaner than it was 50 or 60 years ago?
I can answer it this way. We keep a record of everything we pull out, tonnage. We were at 100 ton the past 2 years.
Wow.
We keep a track of everything we pull out, tires, whatever it is, tonnage by the dumpsters. We actually keep track of it because being partnered with the cities and towns, we have to give record of every dumpster, everything that we pull out, we give records to. And every time we're out there on a boat, we track the time and the employees that are out there cleaning, and we actually give that report to the cities and towns that we're contracted with.
So it's very detailed, huh?
Yes, very detailed. Lawrence, now we go up to we're contracted with doing in Lawrence right now. We used to be in Haverhill, but we're out of there because the contract didn't renegotiate the contract.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little while.
But go back to the Spigot River. The Spigot River is a throw-all in Lawrence. It's not the mayor's fault, the city's fault. It's the public look at that little river as a throw-all. They throw their tires, their trash, their garbage bags, and everything out there washes out to Haverhill. It comes out the Merrimack River to Lawrence by Lawrence General, and it goes downriver towards Haverhill. If it doesn't get stuck there, we'll go to Merrimack, Salisbury, and then end up in the ocean. All that microplastics, hypodermic needles, trash, tires, all that stuff.
But Rocky, why isn't is there any signage? Let's use the Spigot as an example, where some signage that really will maybe help the situation, saying, "Hey, if you get caught dumping in here, it's a $500 fine." Is there any signage from any of the towns?
That Lawrence is actually putting a lot of cameras up now, but there are people who, because of the environmental, the environment now, you have to recycle everything. You have to pay out of your pocket. The city and towns don't take tires anymore like they used to, or air conditioners, or refrigerators. So you have to pay to get rid of that. And these people are on low budgets, or they're hiring some guy with a pickup truck, a shady guy that dumps it. So that's what happens.
Back in the day, when I was growing up, going to high school in the 60s, coming out of Lowell, down the Lowell Boulevard, 110, the cars, whenever they were stolen, you could almost guarantee they were going to be right around there because there was a lot of places where you could go parking, and they would get the cars, put a rock on the gas pedal, and let the car fly. And they got a big kick out of it. Yeah. And how many cars did you guys pull out of the river last year?
We're up to
how many of you pulled out total?
86. 86 we pulled out. And speaking of the rock, we got one on display at the office with the rock still on it. A giant boulder still on that gas pedal.
Honest to God.
Honestly, on display at my yard.
A question I want to ask you is, when they were building the 93 bridge in Methuen, going over from Andover, Doubletree into Methuen, there was a car accident. 2 cars ended up in the river there. Are those out, or are they still there?
We removed one this past year, and there's still another one. They're not too sure if it's a pickup truck or a station wagon. It's upside down. That one's scheduled to come out this year.
That's got to be like 30 years.
Yeah. It's upside down. The tires are all up there, but it's in the mud, in the silt.
When you pull a car out, how many fishes are in it?
In the fall, in the winter, there's a lot of eels, a lot of fish that go dormant in there. You have to rip the doors, panels open, the hood, trying to get them all out.
Funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Roger, what about Roger again? Rocky, I'm sorry. Rocky, what about what's the word? Antique cars. Any value to any of the cars that you've pulled up? I'm writing Rocky down in big letters.
I'm going to get Roger to sit here beside me.
Just start calling him Tony. We'll see how quickly.
We should have invited him in.
Yeah. So
I know we should have had Roger in.
He can't get up the stairs right now.
We'll carry him. So anyways, to go back to in Haverhill, which is really cool, Haverhill, your area, the ocean goes out and you got 30-foot banks, right? Beaches all the way down. So when the ocean drops down, we actually found Model A cars that are flipped over, and it's like a crime scene, all the axles and tires, and they roll down, and it's funny, you can go and pick up all the parts.
Wow.
So
have you done that? I mean,
we've done that in Haverhill, yes. Haverhill on the...
that is absolutely wild.
Really,
Let me
really
tell you something. There is some interesting...
You found some nice stuff. I told you
some of the stuff that it's become a hobby. As I mentioned to you, Rocky, I have a big trash barrel that I have on the banks where my house is. At low tide is like a little beach there. And there's a barrel that I keep up there, and at low tide I'll go with my little picker things and pick up the crap and throw it in the barrel. But if I told you some of the really cool, it's turned into a hobby for me. It's some of the really cool stuff. I mean, I'll go down there like on a Saturday afternoon if I'm bored in the middle of the summertime, and I have a joint compound bucket, turn it upside down, sit on it, smoke a cigar. Sometimes I have a little shovel. Sometimes I use a metal detector. We have found some really, really cool stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I mean, we found, just to give you an example, last year or the year before, there was this little brown, looked like the top of some type of a bottle sticking out of the ground. Think about this. So my wife noticed it, and I said, this is going to be cool. What the hell is it? I sat there, and I slowly dug around it. And it was a ceramic gin bottle dating back to 1848 that was still intact.
Wow.
And it had an inscription on it, and it was actually made by the people that make one of the old gin companies that's still in existence. Really cool,
And it wasn't broken.
One little piece was broken
That's
off.
something, huh?
One little
You
piece.
see it all the time. We see a lot of stuff out there like that. A lot of dishes, a lot of old stuff, bottles. We're cleaning up the
A lot of
shorelines.
bottles.
Yeah.
A lot of bottles. A lot of silver spoons, things like that. Crazy stuff, but it's kind of fun.
That river has a wicked current.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the faster rivers, I believe, in the United States.
Well, it picks up once you
get down by the corner,
Yeah, it
going
starts
toward Newburyport.
Yeah.
Now, I heard that it picks up to about Rocky. Is this correct? Somebody told me that when it gets to right where we are, it's about 22 miles an hour. Is that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I
Because,
read- yeah.
it does because we can't keep anything in the booms past that. They'll just go right underneath all the trash. So
You've mentioned boom to Tom and I before. We've had you on the show back in the day when we were broadcasting out of a different studio. And booms are very, very important to keep the areas clean.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of cost associated with, A, putting them up, 2, maintaining them?
It's basically the booms are when you go in there, they go about 150 feet out and big giant U, and it grabs trees, bottles. It grabs.
Oh, they don't go from line to line, coast to coast.
So there's a picture right there, one full right there.
Right here, yeah.
So I don't know if they can see that, but
I can't.
But
All right,
anyways,
listen. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Rocky Morrison is in for the rest of the show. We got a lot to talk about. Hang in there. Oh, the Clean River Project.
That's
we're going
it.
to talk
Don't
about
forget.
how you can join, how you can donate. We're going to talk about all that stuff. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine each pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State Inspection Station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we are back, and I'm going to call him. How about Rocky Trudell? Does that work? Right?
That's funny. How something stays in your head, T. Right? And you can't. No matter you say, "I'm not going to make that mistake again." Next thing you know, you're right back to where it is.
Rocky Morrison from the Clean River Project is with us. And a little later on, we're gonna see if we can bring up the boom conversation. We're going to see if we can pull this off. But in the meantime, I want to talk about, Michael, if you don't mind, getting towns involved. I can't fathom, Rocky.
Neither can I.
Why the towns between
cities.
Lowell and towns and cities between Lowell and Newburyport, why they all won't come aboard? Can you explain to me what the hell is going on and why they won't?
It puzzles me because it's so important that people drink from this river. Microplastics are going washing out tons every day into the ocean, which fish eat, and that you guys eating the fish. I mean, it's polluting the shorelines. CSO matter. Let combined storage overflows. Every town on the river flushes their waste, their toilet, the plastics, the applicators, condoms, hypodermic needles. Every time it rains out, millions of gallons, each town are dumping in the river.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because I was heavily involved. As a matter of fact, we brought in, I think it was Laurie Trahan. I don't remember who the hell it was.
It was, yeah.
But we brought in a couple of people to talk about that. And I get the notifications because of where I live. I mean, that's a very frustrating problem, Rocky. But, I mean, from what I'm told, maybe you can shed some light on it. Based on what it would take to remedy that, because the sewer systems are so old, you're talking billions of dollars to redesign,
recreate,
so that there's two separate systems. Is that right, or are they just? Is that a malarkey?
It's right, but they waste so much money all over this world, wasting money. They could have had that fixed 5 times over so far. The money they waste. And now she passed this big plan, the government's passing this big plan, but not one dime goes into helping us protect the river and collect all this floatable stuff that they're dumping into the ecosystem. There's not one dime, and they're passing she passed $1 million, millions of dollars for each town to try to help separate their pipes. But
nothing filters to you?
Not one dime went to Clean River. There's more money out there to test the water than there is to help us clean the river.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mikey, I'll tell you, thank God that we live where we live, as Rocky said, because the flow is much, much, much quicker, especially after a storm or during a storm.
It clears out. It clears out pretty quickly.
It dissipates. But we get a notification, Mike. Whenever there's a dump, and there's a dump usually after a moderate or a heavy rainstorm, that you cannot go into the water for 48 hours. And we get that notification. Now, where we are, it does dissipate a lot quicker because the current, you can wind up a new report in, 5 minutes. It goes so fast. But it's down, heading to, where Lawrence is, Haverhill, it's slower, Rocky, right? So it's more polluting.
Right. It's all over the banks. You walk down, you see female applicators. You walk, how does a female applicator get stuck on the shoreline here? And you see it all the way. Bic lighters, you see all this stuff, the waste that comes from the sewage facilities. The little toothpicks you clean your teeth with, and the plastic, they're all over the shorelines. It's a mess. And then it smells like urine. On a hot summer day, it smells like urine all over the shorelines. Yeah, people don't realize how bad it is out there, and the politicians just they won't acknowledge it.
Well, I'm reaching out right now to the citizens of Merrimack that I'm always hopping on my neighbors, and when I get back, I'm gonna see if I can get something going.
But it's got to be everybody, Tom. It can't be one city here skip one other city and then the next city down tries to do something. It's got to be a continuous.
Yeah.
Straight down.
Well, Mikey,
what we were talking about, during the break, Rocky's finding now and his crew, and they're mostly all volunteers, which I tip my hat to that. And I'd like to talk about that in a little bit. But they're finding a lot of homeless people now. They want to live. They want to live in the water, and they don't want to pay the taxes, so they set up
on
a camp.
The water.
They're right on the water.
Yeah.
So. Right. You're finding more and more of that, you said.
A lot of homeless on the banks.
I'm sure. Sure. Hey, Rocky, can you describe what exactly the boom is and how it works?
A boom is a flotation device, the same thing they use for an oil spill. You'll see them in the ocean. You'll see them along the waterways where they drop these big yellow things in. They only go down about 12 inches. They got a big chain on the bottom. They hold them down. And that floats on top of the water. And everything that's floating down, it will trap it. The current in the wind direction usually sends the trash into a certain area, maybe like your house. And everything floats over there and basically gets stuck in the bushes. And this thing here, you find one of those spots where it's really messy. You put one of those down there, and it keeps it clean. It'll keep everything downriver clean on that side of the banks.
Wow.
And this system works really good. And we actually have a hydraulic, a boat that has a big 30-footer, has a hydraulic hand that goes in and grabs the stuff. It's an excavator and loads it on the boat, and then we take it upriver.
What do you need? What do you need for funding to put one of those babies up where I am? What's the cost?
Basically, it's going to be around $50,000. But it ain't bad because you're paying for the boats, you're paying for dumpsters, you're paying for labor. That's a drop in the bucket. And I've been trying to get these cities and towns to put that money in, and they balk at it. It's like, oh, it's really cheap, but we don't have the funding, or we can't find it, or
that's
it's
hard
cheap.
To believe.
It's cheap.
I can't believe it. Have you ever made a presentation to the town of Merrimack Selectmen?
Not yet. No, I not yet.
Merrimack with the low population, that's like a pimple on your butt. But
but Mikey,
you look at cities.
It really isn't.
You look at cities like Haverhill. I don't know how many miles they have along the Merrimack River.
It's not much more than ours, Mike. It's not much more than Merrimack's.
Let's ask Rocky.
The previous mayor in Newburyport was working. We were working on a $20,000 proposal to put booms where you are because it's slower there, and it would be an investment for them. and they didn't pull the trigger. It was only $20,000 back then, and we were still growing. We were accepting that.
All right, so wait a second. You're saying then
we wanted to do the right thing and to put booms in just to help and show them it will work. And
all right, so if you put, in other words, you said $50,000. So if you were to take a boom, and you're telling me that you could, like, one boom would cover Haverhill and Groveland, or not?
Systematically. You put them systematically down because you have like the Spigot River dumping out every day. It's dumping out. So whatever doesn't grab in Haverhill, it will grab in Merrimack. So you have a system. You have systems of different ones all the way down because wind direction and current moves the stuff around.
So you got one area that's going to get all kinds of debris. On the other side of the river, you're not going to have anything.
It
just depends on how the
exactly.
So that's where you put your booms.
Exactly. So
how often would they have to be emptied, Rocky?
Probably every 30 days. You send a boat out there and clean them out.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Have you ever recovered a dead body?
No, they all go to Andover.
I'll tell you honestly.
It's the way the wind blows.
They all go to
Mikey,
Andover.
I've told this.
It is. Current and wind, they go to Andover.
He goes over to the Doubletree.
Yep.
I've told this story in the past, and I don't mean to be facetious, but
yes, you are.
Some guy jumped off a bridge. This was several years ago. Some guy jumped off a bridge. I don't know if it was in Haverhill or up right in that area. Tide was going out, and obviously you see the helicopters and all that stuff, and I can remember mentioning, telling Jesus, the last thing I want is find a body stuck under my dock. Make a long story short, he was stuck under the guy across from us, his dock.
Did it really?
The guy got stuck in there, and they found him. So
it was 5 to 7 suicides from Lowell up.
Yeah, he definitely offered
every year. There's
I wanted to ask you. We're talking funding, and everything you do is so expensive. And today, no matter what you try to do. I mean, just gasoline. Maintaining, you have 5 or 6 boats?
We got 5 boats, yeah.
5 boats? I mean, I can't even imagine the cost associated with that. The Mass Environmental Trust, how important is that to the Clean Harbor project?
They are great. They are actually great. They're the biggest push to get those cars out of the water. Every time we fill out a grant, we always want cars in there and so forth. Now we're going after homeless camps. Now that we narrow down all the cars, we're going after homeless camps along the bank. So I love that we fill out grants all the time there. If we don't fill out a grant, they're asking us why we haven't filled it out. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
We are chatting with Rocky Morrison from the Clean River Project. Man, as I said, this is really, really close to my heart. Let's talk about, first of all, can people donate? That's number one. Yeah,
you can donate. You can write on our website. There's a donate button there. It goes, PayPal. If you want to volunteer, you can volunteer. Come down. We actually take out companies. We take out, 3M. We take out Andover companies out of Andover, to Watts Water out of North Andover. They come out with their employees. We have an employee day. We take all the boats out. We pick a certain area. Yeah.
It's nice to work. I mean, you get a boss. You get working with his employees. I mean, I think that's fantastic because you create a bond.
Yeah.
You're no better than me. I'm no better than you. And I think but places like, say, a Raytheon with 10,000 employees, are they prone to be proactive or not?
Good question, Mikey. Good question.
We would like to get Raytheon. We've tried sending emails so forth that we haven't opened that door yet, but we'd like to have them as a partner. We're always looking for partners of different companies because it's our burden of taking care of the river. We need a lot of support. So if anybody out there any company wants to join up with us.
It wasn't too long ago, Tommy, and we've had them at the feast every once in a while, that some of the inmates from the institutions that are getting close to being released would volunteer. They'd take them and get a crew of, say, 12 people. You'd see them on the highways a lot of times. They'd have one sergeant walking behind them, and they would work. And it's labor. It's labor intensive. So that worked. You can't deal with the sheriff to try and get.
It's funny that you bring that up. We actually tied into the Lawrence Court where people have to do community service. It was working really well, and then somehow they asked the people that were doing community service, if you go out and get a job, you don't have to do community service, but you got to show you got a job. So basically, it cut the whole force, and then they started doing weekends, and I need some time off, so it was great during the week. So things have changed with them, so we hope they're coming back. They come back. As far as that area, as far as the sheriffs, right? We haven't been able to open that door yet either.
Right.
All right.
Well,
So
we got the
here's what we're going to do. It's important that the people that are watching this show see what the boom is all about. So let's take a quick look at how the boom works.
You can even talk over this if you like, Rocky. Explain to the people what's going on.
I'm not too sure where we are. I think
this one
we're
is
in Haverhill.
Yeah, this is the one in
yeah.
Haverhill.
We're going up Haverhill right now. We used to have a contract a couple of years ago with Haverhill. So right here on the right-hand side, you'll see one of the booms opened up right there, and that's an area where a lot of trash comes through.
How big are these booms, feet-wise?
They go at about 150 feet.
As big as your head, Mike.
And see how it's got a skirt on it? I lifted it up.
Yeah.
So I'm connecting probably two together right there. I'm putting a marker on it so the boats don't hit it. That's what I'm doing there.
And there's iron weights that hold them in place?
Yeah, there's big concrete weights that hold them down. There's a marker light on there so the boats don't hit it. So we're actually installing one of these right now.
Wow.
That's what we're doing. And now we're going to pull it out so like a giant U. And that's Haverhill.
I like the music.
Yeah, that's a nice music.
Your wife pick it up?
I don't know. Pick that out.
That's quite a
pretty
thing.
cool. Pretty cool. Very cool.
That thing will grab a tree. You won't even know the tree's in there. It'll grab a giant tree. You wouldn't even, because there's a lot of floatables. It will start filling up, and it fills right up. And then when we're going with the excavator around to grab it out, you wouldn't realize how much stuff's in there until it gets thick.
Rocky, I'm going to throw a challenge out to you.
Sure.
So when I get home, I'm home mid-April. Well, towards the end of April.
Don't come home too early.
When I get home, here's what I'd like to do. Two-step process. I'm going to
make a big
contact-
donation. He said he's going to make a big donation.
Oh.
Besides that, Mike, and so are you, by the way. I am going to contact all of my neighbors that live on the Merrimack River. There's, 30, 40 of them. I don't know how many homes are on there. And I'd like to set something up at my house so that you can come in and talk to them.
That'd be great.
That's step one.
Oh,
that's
that's a good
step
idea.
one. About just keeping it clean. But step two is to try to get their support to show up at a town meeting with the Merrimack Selectmen in unison as a group and voice our concern and see if we can get some of that dough. Fair enough?
I believe so, yeah. I that's great. That's great.
It's really important, though, to get Haverhill, Lawrence, and Lowell as their key cornerstone. That's what you need to get, because that's where a lot of stuff would come from.
Yeah.
You got more people, so it stands to reason.
I think the mayor of Lawrence is doing a great job. I think he's new. I think he's doing a lot. I'd like to see if we can get into the Spigot by Spigot River and actually put some equipment in there, some booms in there, so it would stop it from coming out into the river. So,
I went to Central Catholic for a year and a half before I got thrown out. The stuff that was in that river was my aching head.
But you know something? What the hell does it take? I mean, the people are living on East Broadway. You got plenty of dough. Those houses are all freaking mansions. People living on East Broadway, are they doing their part? I mean, it doesn't take much to have a big garbage can, one of those 32-gallon ones, sitting in a tree somewhere, and just at low tide or when the crap washes up, get yourself one of those pickers. I bought one at Walmart, so I don't have to bend over, and unless it's something big, and throw it in the trash. I mean, it doesn't take that much.
I think if you look at this, right, and you get your neighborhood group together with the city, I think the city of Merrimack should approach Salisbury and Newburyport and Amesbury and West Newbury and ask them for support, financial support to make this happen, because what you guys do is going to benefit them. And,
right.
And they,
it's a domino.
Yeah.
Rocky, has the Tribune helped you guys at all?
The Tribune follows a lot. They do.
So how about the Newburyport Daily News? No, nothing.
Not every once in a blue moon.
How many people read that? 4?
Yeah.
Or the Haverhill Gazette.
Yeah. Well, they're all tied into the Tribune. They're all
Right.
tied in,
They're all
yeah.
owned by
So,
the Trim,
yeah,
Mikey.
right.
All right, let's talk about, we have a few minutes for this segment left. Let's talk about the bicycles. What's the bicycle thing all about?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The bicycles. You know, it's funny, when COVID hit, we lost a lot of support. A lot of the companies stopped coming out, and we had all these bicycles we're pulling out. So to raise money, I seen it on Facebook. Somebody had one in their front of their yard or something like that. So I took a 10-speed. I cleaned it up, sprayed the whole thing yellow, and I put it on Facebook, and it sold like that. People wanted it. And next thing you know, we did a few more. We did them different colors, and it just grew into something really crazy. And now,
So you're rebuilding the bikes?
Yeah, I take them out. So I wash them. I get the guys wash them down. Then we, as a group thing, we all start painting them, and we take them apart.
I saw some bikes that had themes like St. Patrick's Day, Tom.
Yeah, I saw that.
They have flower child, flowers. I love that.
We do St. Patty's Day bikes with a whole full mannequin on them. The Irish Cottage got them. Joe Fish, the Loft. These are restaurants that support us. They always order in bikes, Halloween bikes.
I mean, some of these people that are on the river, I'm just going to toss Sal Lepoli's name out there because I was
perfect example.
I was recently there, and I mean, it's perfect location, all those apartments, all the commercial units. I mean, for somebody like that, is anybody?
I sat down with Sal. He's not a green person. He's not into the environment. He's not really. I try to get him to partner with me, and he has no interest.
Because not only does he have Lawrence, in Haverhill, he did a huge project.
He has a lot of riverfront. He has more riverfront.
I'm going to throw another name out. What about John Cena?
I'm not too familiar with that name.
John Cena is the big actor. Wrestling. He was the WWE wrestling champ. He's he's one of the highest paid actors.
Oh, really?
In Hollywood. His house is right on the river on the Newbury side.
Well, I guess
on the West Newbury side.
That's your call.
To me. Yeah. Let's go
Tom will take care of it.
He's got the biggest freaking house on that side of the river, and it's his father, I believe,
who's a gentleman.
I think his father is the fire chief for the town of West Newbury, I think.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I think so.
Well, he should come to your house party. We should invite him.
Well, he lives in Hollywood. So
Tommy, if you need any cigars,
I'll wrestle him.
If you need any cigars, make sure you get them at Two Guys Smoke Shop.
Yeah.
The hell does that mean?
Buy them here.
Oh, of course I will.
I think I did find his property.
How can I make it any easier for this man?
I'm sorry, say that again, Rock.
I think I did find his property. When you get there, it's down a long road, and he's got these big iron gates, and it says private with cameras all over, and you can't get up there, and it's a mansion.
You can't get close to it. You can't get close to it.
Nice family.
I think
what about schools? Are schools stepping up to the plate?
I do a lot of Zoom calls with schools. Haverhill School comes down, the private schools come down, and they actually bring 40 students, and we take 20 out on the big boat, and we educate them on the water. Well, the 20 stay behind and educate them on recycling and the environment. So school's a big thing on Clean River Project. We have Andover schools come out. The second graders, third graders, they come down by bus, and we actually do the same thing. We educate them. So we really like to bring in the schools. And
a pair of hands is a pair of hands, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We have one more segment with Rocky Morrison of the Clean River Project. When we come back, Rock, let's get into the businesses along the Merrimack, like Mikey started. Now, you said Sal's not a green guy, but I'm sure there are big businesses. There's a crap load of them, and let's talk about how we can get to them. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Ciao, this is Esther of You Meat and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's Seaside Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibes Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites, and the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lamazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once, and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at NorthshorePavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
We're back.
Okay, we are back, and Rocky Morrison from the Clean River Project is in the house with Mikey Boy.
You know, Tom, I think one of the problems that the cities face is, I'm sure they think your project is very, very important, but they have a budget, and people want, say, more cops if there's a problem. A lot of people are retiring early, and it's tangible. You can see the effect of that extra money that they're going to spend for 5 more police officers.
I don't agree with you, Mike. I don't agree. I agree with the concept, but you know, a town like Haverhill, using Haverhill as an example, right? They have budgetary restraints. Rocky needs $50,000. So why don't some of the big corporations?
Well, that's a different story. Now,
no.
You got to keep government. You got to keep government separate from business.
You don't. You don't. No, you don't. And I'll tell you why. Because if Rocky needs $50,000, why can't some of the big companies in Haverhill come up with $30,000, and now the town only has to give him $20,000?
Well,
partner with Right. Partner with the towns, the different companies, the big companies, like Raytheon. I mean, I can't believe
I can't either.
Would not.
I was shocked when you said that.
I'm shocked that Raytheon wouldn't fund the whole damn thing.
Well, I'm looking for CEOs to sit on my board of directors.
He's right there.
I've been looking.
He's right there. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, to sit on my board of directors to do that outreach. I do a lot. I'm out there in the field with the guys, and trying to connect these dots. It's very hard to open those doors up.
So you do. You need somebody that's all. It's like writing grant money.
Yes.
Not everybody can write grant money, Tommy. I know you know that. It's a specialty, but that's where most of your funding is going to come from, grants. Well, I think what's happening.
Well, hold on. Let me follow up on that, Mike. Do you get grant money?
Grants are very hard. Grants are very far in between. You can get grants for passing out flyers and doing crazy things, but when it comes to cleaning the environment, there's no grants out there. I mean, they're very...
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
that's shocking.
That's Environmental Trust and a few other ones that we
You
had.
got to be kidding me.
Nope, and then you got to wait every other year to apply for them, some of them. And now you would have... Now they got a new law with some of these. You have to spend your money to get the money back that they're going to grant you.
Oh, okay.
So now, if it's $100,000, you
gotta
have to spend $100,000. So, so we just filled out a grant for $150,000 because there's over 160, 170 homeless camps, abandoned ones throughout Lawrence and Lowell and South Lawrence. So we went around identifying these to fill out this grant just to clean up those homeless camps. And but we would have to spend our money as we go along.
Do you find that some communities overthink what you're trying to do? In other words, it's just like Shakespeare when he wrote Hamlet.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I want to hear this one.
Why are you using the Lord's name?
You don't know Shakespeare from freaking Paul Bunyan.
Let me tell you, I'm an avid fan of Hamlet. But in the play, he was known as the thinker. He would not act. He kept thinking about things and and nothing got done. And my point is, Tom, some of this, I think you can take a look at this and look at some of these cities and towns. What are you shaking your head for?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to teach you something.
Go
But,
ahead.
Even in the Dobie Gillis show that was on in the 50s, you had the statue of the thinker, and he'd be sitting there like this and not doing nothing. This is exactly what Hamlet did, and I think some of these cities are doing the exact same thing.
Well, Mikey,
you make a proposal, you go to them. And
Mikey, you can step up to the plate. I'll tell you where you can step up to the plate, and I'm dead serious. From Lowell to Newburyport, how many market baskets are there in those towns? Why don't you reach out to your buddies, the Demoulas family, and have them kick in some swordies?
I was saying that to him. How many shopping carts we pull out of the wetlands, out of the river?
You know how much those shopping carts cost? You have no idea. They're expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Mikey, come on, man. Step up to the plate and reach out to the Demoulas family. And I'll reach out to Raytheon. How's that? I will reach out to Raytheon.
You sell them. You have a contact there. You have two contacts.
No. Listen to me.
Yeah.
I have some contacts at corporate.
Knows everybody. Knows everybody. This is your man. This is your core CEO.
I think we're going to come back for another segment here and see how you guys did.
I wanted to. You mentioned Demoulas real quickly. The market basket. I have no idea how many plastic bags they must use in 87 stores, 88 stores. And those bags hold next to nothing. Yeah. And that's the problem. It never decomposes. Why don't we go back to recycled paper bags, Tom? Why? Tell me why.
Mike, I don't disagree with you there.
I mean, make it a freaking state law. Ban all the gosh darn plastic. Those plastic bags are a pain in the ass. You can't even put a pair of shoes in them. You put one bottle, a 2-liter bottle of Coke, and that's it, because they'll rip.
No, I agree
back to
with
paper.
Going to the homeless camps, they're all over the place in the homeless camps because they're carrying all that stuff down to it. It's just a mess, those plastic bags.
You must have, and they float everywhere.
They float, yep.
Rocky, at the beginning of the show, you may disagree with me in this one, but I think you really have to keep the physical pollution separate from the dumping of waste from the water treatment plants into and the only reason being is because it really is they're both pollutants, but they're two separate problems. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with it. When I started out, it was floatable trash, it was tires, then it went to vehicles, then it went to CSO matter because no one was acknowledging what was going on with the river until we put a first boom in, and then we started seeing the toiletries and the smell. These things fill up with the smell of the slurage. These booms, you could smell once you dig into it. The slurage hits you in the face. Oh
Really?
yeah, that stuff floats. It doesn't dissipate like Kool-Aid. It stays in a track, a jet ski. And floats.
Today, more and more people have dogs, and some try to do the best they can. They walk around the neighborhood, and they have these plastic bags, and they put the poop in it. But where's that go? Where's it go? So that must be a concern also.
Well,
they throw in a plastic bag, and the plastic bag floats down to Tommy's yard.
Yeah, they do.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Rocky.
Yeah.
We should do another segment.
Oh, yeah, we will. We're going to get you back. Website address?
It's cleanriverproject.org. Cleanriverproject.org.
Folks, our viewers and listeners, everybody that's along the Merrimack River and in the towns, please do what you can. Get the word out to support the Clean River Project. That's the drinking water for a lot of towns.
600,000 plus people, Massachusetts.
And we need to keep it clean. And for you guys along the Merrimack, up in Merrimack, you're going to be hearing from me. Rocky, it's been a pleasure. We'll get you back.
Yeah.
CEO.
We'll have to talk about
CEO. I'll give you his address.
When you lose me, I'm going to Everett, going to Boston pretty soon. You're going to be losing me off the Merrimack. We'll talk about that.
All right. With that being said, Mikey, have a great week.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
To our viewers and listeners, remember, YouTube. Can you say YouTube?
YouTube.
And remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.